Guys, and welcome back to my channel. So if you are new here, welcome. My name is Beth and I use the name Be More Creative. I am a channel mainly about counted cross stitch, but here and there may be some other creative videos along the way. Today we are going to be talking about counted cross stitch, and I'm back with episode 5 of my Flosstube. If you are already a subscriber, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back to check out the next update in this cross stitch series. I really hope you're enjoying it so far. And we're gonna jump straight in today because I have quite a bit to show you and a lot to talk about, because we are now approaching March and it is March Madness time, which is my first time doing the March stitching challenge. So I'm going to jump in with my favourite new thing, which my favourite new thing you can see sitting next to me is my tiered tray. I am obsessed with this. I was given the idea after watching Priscilla Bain's house tours, so Stitching with the Housewives. Absolutely love their channel. I love how they do their finishes, but it's not something that I would generally do. But when they did their house tour and I saw their tiered trays and the way that they decorate with them, I absolutely love them. So I picked up my one from IKEA. It was super cheap and it has been the highlight of this whole month. Every time I come in and I sit down, I can see it and I absolutely love it. So I'm really looking forward to changing out the decorations and creating some s'mores even to go in it. So that has been my favourite thing of this month. I do have a couple of fully finished objects, FFOs, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert a little clip here of my tiered tray, because a lot of my FFOs this month have been my little cushions. You can see one on the top there, the Be Mine. So I will insert a little video here showing the two tiered tray and the FFOs. I do apologise if the footage is a little shaky. I was trying to film it in hand and I am terrible with things like that, so I do apologise for that, but I really hope you enjoy this small clip. So this is my new tiered tray, which I am absolutely obsessed with. So just starting on the first tray. Now I actually got this tier tray from IKEA, so it's a 2-tier tray and it is metal. On the first top layer I've got my two Valentine gnomes, which I got off of Amazon. I also have a couple of crystals that I already had. I have this gorgeous heart, ceramic heart, which says, "Because of you, I laugh a little harder, cry a little less, and smile a lot more." I just thought that was really nice. I have a wicker heart and some wicker balls that I already had. This is the Be Mine cross stitch pillow that I made, and I actually am just using wool. This is like a really soft velveteen wool, but I just bought a couple of balls of wool and that's what I'm using. So I've got my Be Mine, and these are all stitched on 14 count that I had left. So on the second tier, I do apologise that my hand is shaking. I have a photo frame at the back, and I've put a little bit of scrapbook paper with some with a sticker that says love, and it's a baking print. This pillow here I made and got the pattern out of a Just Cross Stitch magazine. Then I have two more hands-on designs, freebie. I believe they're both from Hands-On Designs. I'm not 100% sure, I'll have to double check. This one was meant to say love you more, but I just put the love you because I just had a little scrap, and then a silver metallic button, and then the love you over here. And in the back there I have, this is a piece of satin fabric that I stamped on and coloured with Tombow markers, and I've had that in my collection for ages, so I've decided to add that and turn that into a pillow. And once again I've used different wool for the trims. Just on the side, I'm not sure if you can see it, I have a little Easter bunny that I bought for my Easter tray. I've just hidden it around there so I don't lose it. I have a little dish here with some more of these like wicker balls in red and white. I have a pink quartz stone that I have, and then I just put 3 bobbins. This is just random floss that I bought before I started using DMC. and I just took out the pink, the red and the white just to put in there because I thought it added quite a nice effect to my little tree. And I'm obsessed with this. I love the fact that I've managed to find a way to get a couple of pieces on display. So my next FFO, along the lines of the smalls in the tray, I stitched up my March Cottage of the Month by Country Cottage Needleworks. I've had this series. This was one of the first series I bought because I thought they're nice and small and I would stitch them, and then just never did it because I was like, what am I going to do with it? Now I have my tier tray. I'm super excited to be making some little cushions really to go in it. So this is the March one. I started with March because I knew I wouldn't get February's done in time with my other projects that I was working on, and I have cut off the border at the bottom, so it did have this shamrock and flower border at the bottom as well. I just decided I liked it just the smaller size, and I've actually made this into an envelope kind of cushion cover, so that way I can use the same pillow insert. I made my own pillow insert, but I can use the same pillow insert for each month, and it means that it's less for me to store because they won't be thick like this to store. It would just be the 2 pieces of fabric. So that is my March monthly, and I just have some black and white floral fabric on the back. I need to work on my corners a little bit, but this was actually my first cushion that I've made, and I'm really impressed with how it turned out. I did change the colours for this. In terms of it's called for DMC, I believe. I used Sulky. I just went through and picked the closest colours that I had and then changed up a couple. They're all still in the same colour family, but just to make sure that my colours worked, I did change up a couple. And this is stitched on 16 count Lambswool. And then my FFO, this is as finished as it's going to be for now. There is still one element missing, but I did it. This is my Love Grows Here, and I'm so happy with this. So I did have to make a couple of changes. I changed the colours. It is a different colour palette. I did 4 different shades of purple and 1 shade of white. This is stitched on 16 count Lambswool Aida. And my tree is a little bit different at the top. Now I had to change this a little bit because this is going to one of my best friends as her wedding anniversary piece. And on their wedding day, they gifted us little lucky charms because they are very much into all of these kind of lucky charms and things like that. But also they ended up meeting, buying lucky charms. That's how they met. So they have the 2 lucky charms that I have my set somewhere, but I kind of didn't want to give mine up. But she has some spare ones, so when I receive those in the post, I'm just going to glue these in the spaces up here. So I did take out the love heart and I changed the tree a little bit so that way I could have space to fit them on. But yes, that is my FFO. I just got the frame off of Amazon. I framed it myself. It's not 100% perfect, but I love the way that this has turned out. It's been so nice to stitch, and I'm really hoping Google picks this as my piece, as my kind of screenshot for the video. I really hope so. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I used a diamond gold for this first time using it, and it was so nice to work with. I really enjoyed working with it. But this is my favourite FFO for the month. I'm really struggling with the thought of having to give this up though. I absolutely love it. I love how the frame sits on my desk as well. I think I need to buy another one of these frames and find something that is this size that I can stitch and put in here, because I'm loving having at least one piece on display. But yeah, she's absolutely thrilled with it. She does know about this project. I sent her a picture of the chart as soon as, like on Instagram, when they said this is coming soon, I sent her a picture and I said, oh my god, this is you and Matty. Matt is a husband. I always called him Matty, ever have done. We were all friends when we were younger, so yes, so she is super excited with this. I'm just waiting for the charms to come through in the post so I can glue those on, and then I will be sending this to her. But there we go, that is my Love Grows Here piece. So I have a couple more finishes that aren't FFOs. I have, the first one is my Little House Needleworks post office, which is one of my Whip Go pieces for this month. And originally I said I was going to stitch this as one long piece, but with my thing of not being able to display anything, and I was sitting there thinking, well, what's the point of stitching? I love the idea of having it as one long piece, but then I saw on Instagram, and I'm really sorry, I cannot remember who it was by. If I can, I will put the link down in the description box below. It was just scrolling one day. Someone had made these into pillows and put them on the windowsill on a piece of like that snow blanket stuff you can get with a little fake trees and a bench and stuff, and I absolutely loved it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stitch these individually and I'm going to have it as a little pillow thing. So yes, and this is stitched on 16 count, I can't remember what I've stitched this in, French Country Golden Permin. I've just dropped things all over the floor, and that is my finished stitching. So I'm going to stitch them all up at some point throughout the year. I have a couple more that I want to carry on working on. Sorry, just picking up, I dropped my scissors on the floor. So yeah, I've got a couple more of those. There's 9 that I want to stitch that I picked originally for that one piece, but now I can stitch them individually. I may pick up a couple more throughout the year. Then yesterday on the 25th, today I'm filming on the 26th, and yesterday the Made to Create Part 2 sale came out, and I was like, it's my day off. I have other pieces that I should be stitching, but I just wanted to make sure I kept up with this, and I finished part 2. So I am using, so part 2 was the scissors, the button, the, let's put it out of my head, the ball of wool or yarn, and the button down here. So that was part 2. And I am using, I'm stitching this on 20 count Belleana, which is an even weave. It's my first time using even weave Zweigart, and I am using the gorgeous Jodyri Designs threads. Now if you haven't stitched with these, you need to go and pick some up. They are absolutely gorgeous. Now obviously they are hand dyed threads, so you do have to wait for them to be dyed, but these are absolutely stunning. Now all of the threads that I am using came from one of her like packs, and I think it was called the Rainbow Pack. I will put it down in the description box below. They are absolutely stunning, and I'm considering buying another pack, so that way if I run out, I'm gonna have enough for this project, but I want to make sure I have some more in my stash for when I'm ready to another project, because this is absolutely gorgeous. Now I was stitching 1/1 for all of the elements and the letter E, but for this yellow, which I believe is called Citrine Sparkle, it just wasn't showing up on my fabric. It was just, the colour was too close, and I'm not sure how well you can see it. It's yellow. I took out the most pale yellow, so it was like white, yellow, in like 3 different shades of light yellow, 2 different shades of dark yellow. So I did have to pick a little bit, but I've actually stitched the scissors 2/1, sorry. 2 strands over 1 thread of the fabric. I'm not making any sense today, I do apologise. So that is how far I've gotten with that, and I absolutely love it. So that is now going away until the 25th of next month, when I will pull it back out. My next piece is a whip, a work in progress, and I'm stitching the second one of my Blackbird's Loose Feather series, the Light Upon the Lawn. And this is the one that I'm going to hopefully finish up today. So there's my first block that I've done, and I'm now on to my second block here. And all I have left to do is I have the bird, this wreath, and then to finish off these two little icons at the top. So I really don't have that much left to do, so I'm hoping I can get this finished, because this was actually my second whip go call for this month, was to stitch one block. So that is what I have. So that was my other whip that I did. Just trying to think, what else have I done this month? Sorry, I'm getting a bit tangled in all of my whips. I have to say, this is the most pathetic whip start that I have, but it is a new, both of these two pieces are new starts, and they've literally only had about 20 minutes each after work one day, but I wanted to include it because then it makes me accountable for actually working on these. So this is the 2020 pandemic sampler released by Sassy Girl. I do apologise if I'm saying that wrong. I will link her YouTube and her Instagram down below so you can check this out. She released this for free last year, and it is a absolutely stunning sampler. Now, I've never stitched a sampler that's this size, or any, actually I've never, this is my first kind of sampler, and I just loved the way it looked. I love the fact that it was quite representational without reminding you too much about everything that's happened. So I am using the called for DMCs because I absolutely loved it, and then I went through my stash to see what piece of fabric I could have, and I found this, let me turn it the right way. I found this piece here, which I'm not sure how well you're going to see it on camera, but it is a gorgeous kind of mauvey brown with pink and blue coming through. And I actually bought this as like one of their already dyed pieces. This is my very, very tiny start. And this is Chromatic Alchemy Even Weave. So I accidentally bought an even weave before I was stitching on even weave in the shade Verona. And it is absolutely stunning. I'm in love with this fabric, and I love the way the colours look on this. So I've got a couple of the colours already started, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So because this is an 18 count, I am stitching 2 over 1. So 2 threads over 1, no, 2 strands of DMC over 1 strand of fabric, so over 1 strand of fabric. And I absolutely love that. So that is a small start, but I wanted to make sure I started it, because if it's started, I will then pick it up again. If it's sitting there unstarted, it's not going to have any work done with it. Sorry about that, guys, my camera cut out. So I was gonna say, I have made 1 new start, but that is in my March Madness bracket. So I thought it was quite a good time to go over March Madness. Now, I was like a 3-year-old and pulled out my stickers because I knew I wanted to do my bracket in my stitching journal. Well, it's like a bullet journal. I have my stitching journal, which you can see behind me there. But this is where I keep all of the information about anything I'm stitching, anything that's in my collection is all stored in this journal. So I am going to be doing the Still City Stitchers bracket for mine, and I'm going to give each whip, so each new start / whip, depending on the day, 1 day, and then I'm going to put on my Instagram for the vote of which one of those 2, so which project from day 1 and day 2 you want to go forwards, which project from day 3, 4. So if you would like to take part in the vote, that will be on my Instagram, which is linked down below. It is b.morecreative, and I will make sure I put my handle across the screen as well. I'd love it if you go over on, I'll post from March 2nd when I've got the first 2 done. I will be posting for a vote of which one you would like to go through. So I'm going to quickly show you now the pieces that I have that I am planning to either start or that I have already started, and it's a current whip that I have. And my goal is to then try and finish that piece for the month. There are a couple that I'm pushing myself because I also want to work on my whip go, and I'm not sure what my whip go pieces are going to be because they're announced tomorrow. So let's have a look at what projects I have for March Madness. So my first one is actually from the Readly app. So I am subscribed to Readly, which is the magazine app, which allows me to have access to multiple cross-stitching magazines and past issues. So when I was scrolling through, I saw the Seasons of Chalk series by Priscilla Brain and Hands On Design. So my first pick is going to be stitching Summer. I haven't stitched any of these. I am going to be pulling the fabric and the threads this afternoon for all of the pieces that I've chosen. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to go with the pinkish one, or the more red tone. I will decide that later. So that is the first one, and that one is going to be going up against, from the same issue, so say Summer is from Hands On Designs and Priscilla Blaine, and the next one is by Isabella Abati, I do apologise, of the Primitive Hair, and it is this one called Be Happy. So those are my first two picks. I do apologise about that. I did just need to go and grab a couple of pieces that I realised I was missing. So day one, as I've said, is the Hands On Design and Priscilla Brain Summer chalker. I have my Be Happy, which is by Isabella from the Primitive Hair. Day three is going to be my Jardin Privé Quaker Au Clair. And I'm actually going to be changing the colours on these, and I've got 4 weeks Dye Works that I already had in my collection. I'm going to be using Williamsburg Red and Blue. I'm going to be using Blue Spruce and Chestnut. So those are the colours that I'm going to be using for that. I'm not quite sure what fabric. I need to pick out a fabric, but I've always wanted to do a Quaker in the Williamsburg Red and Blue. I just love those two together, and I've decided this is the Quaker that I'm going to use for that. And then that one is going to be going up against the Bee's Portrait by the Little Stitcher, which I have actually started. I started this yesterday, and this one has been in my collection for so long. This is one of the first PDFs that I bought. I just never got around to stitching it. It's been kitted up, but I was a bit like I kept seeing other things, let's be honest. I absolutely love this. I had it already kitted up, but then I kept forgetting that I had it kitted up and kept going for other things. So this is the Bee's Portrait, and I have to say I am loving stitching this. So this is how far I've got. I've literally just done the very top here where it says the Bee's Portrait, and it is so much fun. So much fun. This Gentle Arts Toffee colour, I love it. Absolutely love it. And this is 18 count vintage cafe mocha, I think. 2 seconds. Yeah, 18 count vintage country mocha, and I absolutely love it. So that is what I started this week, but that is going to be day 4, so March 4th. I then have my day 5. I'm going to be doing a little bit on Blackbird Loose Feathers, the third one, She Sights a Bird, and that one is going to be going up against my Country Cottage Needleworks April Cottage of the Month. So I have got quite a few mixture of sizes. I haven't got anything too big, but I have got some fairly medium sized pieces for my kind of stitching because I'm a slow stitcher. I also don't really have that many days, so I've noticed on my days off, which is Wednesday afternoon, Thursday and Friday morning, I get a fair bit of stitching done, but the other days get next to no time whatsoever. So those two are going to be going up against each other. And then day 7 and day 8, I went a bit Christmassy. So day 7 is going to be one of my whips that I've had around for a little while now. I just need a bit of a push to try and finish it, which is the Jardin Privé Be Happy and Smile. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm stitching this on a 16 count chromatic alchemy in the shade Malva. So I'm having that one, and then I really need to get around to stitching all of these Rosewood Manor stockings. So I'm going to make a start on Cranberry Row, and I'm actually going to be stitching these on 28 count, which is the called for even weave for these, which for me is a little bit scary because I am starting even weave 18 or 20 count where I don't have to go over 2. These ones, I think the fabric I have kitted up for these are even weave fabrics. So I'm going to try it. If I don't like it, then I will have to switch to 14 count because I want it to be the same size. But yeah, so I have 5 of these that I want to stitch, but they're not until next year. So I'm going to start on this one first, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with thread. I'm going to have a look through my DMC collection and make a decision then. So that is my plans for March Madness. As I said, I will be stitching one day on each of the projects, and when I've done the 2 days that are in the bracket, I will then put it up on Instagram for a vote, where that piece will then go through for another day of stitching to the next round, and so on and so on. So that way one of those pieces at least should be finished by the end of March. Now, the ones that I'm just starting, like this one, I'm not aiming for a finish. I just put this in because I need to start it. And if I start it, even if it's just a day stitching, I will then pick it up and carry it on because it's in my whip basket. So some of these are in for a start, some of these are in for a finish. So a majority of them are in for a finish. There's only this one actually that is not down for a finish, because this I just think is too big for me to get done in 15 days. But if it started, I will try and get as far as I possibly can. So I have a haul section, which I do have some more items coming. My friends grouped together and got me a gift card for 123 Stitch, and we did what we do for each other is, because we're all over the world. One of my friends is in America, one's in China, one's back in France, one's in Spain. We all went to the same university together. And what we do for each other's birthdays is we get each other a gift card, but we go shopping together. So whether it's the group of us all together or whether it's just a couple of us, we will spend the gift cards together. So all of my friends grouped together and got me 123 Stitch because they knew I was into cross stitching, and they've talked me into starting the Prairie School of Santas. Now, they know I'm kind of one of those people that I probably wouldn't have picked the Prairie School of Santas straight away, but I like having a collection of things and it's like a challenge. So I bought as many of the Prairie School Santas as I can. I am missing a couple, and I didn't buy the ones that have been revisited yet because I was like, well, those are going to be around for a while. So I bought the other ones that haven't been re-released. So I bought those, and I bought a couple other patterns which is for an upcoming giveaway. I'm not doing a giveaway yet because the UK technically is still in lockdown and I don't want to have the hassle of trying to get to the post office at the moment. But I am planning to do a giveaway. I have already reached my goal for the year of 800 subscribers, and I think I'm going to push that goal back to 900. So when I get to 900 subscribers, I would be doing a bigger giveaway. I may have a smaller giveaway when things open up, maybe in April, but I'm not making any promises because I don't want to be going out. My job here, I also live on site, so if I don't have to go out, I'm not going to risk it and go out, but I will see. But I have started collecting a couple of fun things for an upcoming giveaway when I reach 900 subscribers, because by the time we do that, it will probably be later in the year. I don't see myself jumping up by that many straight away. I hope I do, but because it just means more stitchy friends. I've been talking to quite a few of you and I absolutely love it. But anyway, so I bought a couple more things, but from the month of March, I was going to do a no spend, and I have been really good and done a no spend. Everything that I have here is either from stash or it's things that arrived that I said that I had coming already. But I'm going to do the stitch from stash because I was sitting there going, you're really going to start a no spend when everyone's revealing what they're doing for the Needlework Expo? Like, that's not going to work. I'm just going to break that. So then I thought, I have a fair amount of stash that I can get through. So I'm going to stitch from stash, and I'm going to set myself a budget of £25 a month, which obviously rolls over. But then it's going to make me stitch these pieces, because anything I want above £25, and that includes if I need to buy material or threads or the patterns, that's all included. Q-snap, stuff like that isn't. Like needles, scissors, those aren't included, but anything else is. So it's going to make me stitch the stuff that I have, because then I can get credit for it. And then when I've got the credit for it, I can then spend more money. So I quite like the idea of it. And I have sat there and worked out already what I get if I finish my March Madness, which actually, if I finish 2 of those, or 3, I can buy everything I want from the Needlework Expo. Which, face it, I was going to get anyway, but I've now made myself do it. So that is my plan. I'm going to be joining Stitch from Stash. I have signed up to the Facebook group, but I'm not going to be putting it on there. I'm going to do it individually. But I will hold myself accountable by showing you guys each time I do a video if I've spent anything, and if I finish anything, how much credit do I get. So I'm going to hold myself accountable for it, but I'm just not going to do it on the Facebook group. So the first thing, this I was waiting for from eBay. This has been on my wish list forever. Now I saw this on Instagram, and I know you can get the PDF for it, but I didn't know that until after I'd lost 3 eBay bids and finally managed to find one. So this is the Heartstring Sampley My Shadow, and it says on here, with only a silver needle and a string from the depths of my heart, I will stitch in love and beauty into the warp and weft of the world. And this is an older chart because it's got a photo for the picture. But ever since I saw it that once on Instagram, before I was cross-stitching, I really wanted this. And I managed to get it. It came all the way from America, but I got it off an American eBay bid. Absolutely love it. And I'm super happy because I didn't have to spend an absolute fortune on it. I got it for a really good price. So I have that one. Then also off of eBay, I got Annie B's Folksart Thread Needle Street. And this one says, we don't say goodnight to where stitching's complete. That's how we run here on Threadneedle Street. And I just thought that was absolutely gorgeous, so I picked that one up. Then from Peakside Needleworks, I wanted some smalls so I could have some more to do on my tray. So from the Fragment in Times Furchies 2020 by Summerhouse Stitchworks, I got Harmony, Charity, and Industry because it has the bees on it. So I got Industry, Charity, and Harmony. I loved those birds. And then I also picked up one from the 28 series, which is this gorgeous house. So I picked up those. I did pick up some other stuff, but it was thread and fabric, which has already been distributed. I also picked up the Tired Trio by Plum Street Samplers. I just absolutely love those sloths, which I don't know why, because I don't normally go towards sloths, but I saw this stitched and I absolutely loved it, and I thought for my tier tray that would go really nicely. The last one I don't actually have, oh no, I have 2 more, sorry. So this one I spoke about, but I never actually had the piece in hand. I've got Citrine Refuge by the Scarlet House. Now this one just means so much to me at the moment. When the world seems to be out of control, I find a way to nurture my soul, seeking refuge with needle and thread, the angst and anxiety no longer I dread. And I'm going to be completely honest, this whole lockdown has been really difficult for me. I haven't been able to go home and see my mum, dad or sisters since December of 2019, and it's not been easy being here at the school. I get like support and everyone from the school, but it's that feeling of I'm always here, or I can't go and see my family and friends, which is the same for everybody. I know everyone's struggling. And cross stitch I started last August, and I have to say is one of the things that's got me through. The fact that I've got cross stitch, the fact that I've got you guys who watch my videos or are on my Instagram channel and we talk, we message, it means the world to me. It is, you guys have got me through lockdown. And when I saw this pattern, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I saw it, I was like, I don't need any more patterns. I don't. And then I just could not stop thinking about it. So I ordered this one and I cannot wait to start it. This is one of those pieces that is going to be on the wall. I'm going to frame this. I will work out a way to display it. This piece sums it all up for me. And I'm going to be starting this obviously not in the month of March because I have everything going on, but this piece is going to be one of mine that I will stitch this year. So I have that one, and I have not yet kitted it up or anything. I will be kitting that up. That one will be kitted up no matter what. So then Evelyn across the pond, on her YouTube channel and her Instagram, I actually saw it on her Instagram page, she announced that her and, I know her name's Georgia, but I cannot remember her YouTube, I will put it across the screen, are going to be doing the Madame Chantilly sale. So I will put the hashtag across the screen as well. And they're going to be stitching the winter tier tray, which recently came out. Now I've ordered this as a PDF. I will put a picture up on the screen here, because when you order a PDF, they put your name and address on it. I don't want to be showing that across the internet. So I will put a picture up here. And they are starting this on the 28th of February. And it can be any Madame Chantilly pattern you want. I've got 3 or 4 in my collection, but when I saw this winter tier tray, I fell in love with it. So I'm going to be stitching that, and I'm going to be stitching it on 18 count Pearl Grey. So I've picked up my fabric. I haven't quite finished with the thread choices because there's a couple that I need to, I don't have the actual called for colour, so I need to work out what shade I want to do it in, or if I want to change the colours, but I will sit down and make that decision on Sunday. Sorry, I will make that decision on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to starting that. And if you are joining in the sale, please make sure you use the hashtag, and also let me know down below. What kind of patterns do you like from Madame Chantilly? She has so many different things. Have you stitched any of her pieces? Let me know. Right, so a couple of YouTubers that I want to shout out. Now, of course, I've already mentioned a couple, Evelyn across the pond, stitching with the housewife Priscilla and Chelsea. Hello from Liz Matthews has just released a video which shows Kathy Barrack's needlework expo pieces, so definitely check that out. There's some really gorgeous pieces that she's releasing. Just having a look through there's so many people that I want to shout out. It's unbelievable. I've been watching Stitchy Fix, which is a mother and daughter duo, so if you haven't seen those, make sure you check them out. I just love the fact that they're a mother-daughter stitching together. Their pieces are absolutely stunning. But it's just the banter kind of between the two of them I absolutely love. Still City Stitches episode came out yesterday if you haven't already seen that, and make sure you check out their March Madness video. That has been really, really good. A really nice explanation of what March Madness to them is, and it makes it nice and simple if you want to join in. So they also have a hashtag for their March Madness, which is SCS March Madness 2021. So make sure you go and check them out and see what they have. And then another Flosstuber who is fairly new to me is Craftivating Creations. So I will list all of those people down in the description box below, and just check them out. There's so many more. Now, I would love to discover more Flosstubers anywhere across the world, but in particular UK Flosstubers. But as I said, I'm happy to watch anyone's Flosstube. So please, if you have your own Flosstube, or if you can recommend any Flosstubes that you think I should check out, please make sure you leave those down in the description box below. So I think that's about it from me today. I have rambled on long enough. If you stayed until the end of the video, thank you so much. And I am super excited. I have quite a lot to do for March, especially as it's one of my busiest times of the school year. But I absolutely love it. Now, I am hoping that a lot of you will be joining in the March Madness, and I really hope that you go over to my Instagram and vote each time I put up the pictures. So that will be on the 2nd, the 4th, the 6th, the 10th will be some as well. Just trying to think of what other days, but there will be multiple days during March that I put up for a vote of each of the whips that you think should go through to the next round. So please, I would love to do it that way. If not, if I don't get anyone who votes over there, I will just do a like the random tiny decision wheel thing, and that will pick for me. But I'm really hoping that you guys vote for your favourite pieces and let me know which ones you want me to stitch on. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will be back in 2 weeks because I'm going to do an update on my March Madness during the middle of March Madness to see how everything is going. Really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys all soon. Happy stitching. Bye guys.